Hi, welcome back to Swiss Watch Expo. Jason here. And if you've been looking at a beautiful luxury timepiece and you've been looking at some of the Rolex GMT models, but it's just a little bit outside of your price range, I have some great options for you, so stay tuned. Hi, welcome back to Swiss Watch Expo. So as you're checking out our website, you're probably looking at some of our very iconic models, especially with Rolex being such an iconic name. You're probably looking at some of the GMT-Masters that are available. So the Pepsi and the root beers are just two of the very popular models in their lines right now. And that might be a little bit of a sticker shock to some of you where it's just a little bit outside that price range. I know for me, when I'm looking for a luxury watch right now, I'm not quite ready to spend that kind of amount. So I do have some great options here with the Tudor GMT Black Bay heritage that we have. Very reminiscent of the GMT Masters with the Rolex line. And actually Tudor is actually owned by the Hans Wilsdorf Foundation. So it is part of the Rolex family. And it's actually been in, I think it's been around the same time as Rolex. So I think they actually started Tudor in 1926. So Hans Wilsdorf wanted to make sure that they had a brand that they created that was a little bit more budget friendly, but just as reliable as a Rolex timepiece. And for me personally, I love these Tudor timepieces that we have. So just to take a look at these. So we're going to start with the Pepsi GMT, and of course it's very reminiscent to the GMT-Master with the Pepsi bezel. So of course you have that iconic look with the top half being the blue color and the bottom half being that beautiful bright red. I do love that the GMT hand has that red coloring on here. I think it looks really nice, really pops really nicely on the dial, especially with those white hour markers. And again, if you are looking for something that is a GMT function, something that is very reliable, something that's been around for quite a bit, I believe they introduced these models in about 2010. So they've been around for quite a while now. And of course, they're known for their very large crown that they have here, which is iconic to the Tudor brand. And when you take a close look, it almost looks identical to a Rolex timepiece. You have this kind of oyster style bracelet, which I really enjoy. Really glad that they did the brushed finishing on this model here. It looks really nice. So again, if you are looking for a quality GMT timepiece, I think this is going to be a great option, especially if you've been eyeing the Pepsi bezel. Second, we do have one that is reminiscent of the root beer GMT. And of course, you have that beautiful kind of bronze coloring at the bottom with the black on the top half there. I think out of both of these, this one happens to be my favorite one just because I really love like that rustic look to it. I do like that they did the steel and gold option where you kind of have that two-tone look. And I think it's very reminiscent of the root beer GMT on the Rolex line. So again, if you are looking for one of those models and you've just really enjoyed the overall look of those timepieces, the Tudor GMT is a really great option, something that's very reliable, something that's known to just really last the test of time. And for me, it's just a really great timepiece, and especially when you're wearing it on the wrist. You do have a 41mm case size, so it's something that's not going to be too small or too large on the wrist. I think it fits very nicely for most wrist sizes. So we do have a few of these options available here at SwissWatchExpo.com. And of course, with the Black Bay models, you do have all the different functions. You have the chronograph functions. You can find some that have the bronze to it. But for me, I really enjoy the GMT function on this timepiece here. So leave a comment down below. What's your favorite timepiece that you've been eyeing on our website? We'd love to do a FaceTime call with you. And stay tuned until next week.